Yeah, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Manley from MatthewManley.com, and just finished up the event number 5 of the Arizona Poker Tour. So wanted to do a quick wrap-up video, let you guys know how it went, as well as go over some pretty pivotal hands in the tournament and let you know how it ended up. Also wanted to switch it up, give you guys a little view of my Christmas tree in the back there, getting festive. We're pretty close to Christmas here. It's actually a week until Christmas today. 6 days till my birthday and a week till Christmas. So if this doesn't get you in the festive mood, I don't know what will. I'm not the most festive person, so just be happy I have a Christmas tree up. Thank you very much. Plus, I've got some really cool Vegas ornaments. It's a poker ornament, so it's totally a Christmas tree that I would have. But anyway, like I said, event 5 of the Arizona Poker Tour ended last night. And prior to starting, I was in 6th place for the points. Well, one of the 6 people who would have made the championship table. How it works, as I've said in the past, whoever wins one of the 5 events, each person that wins gets in, as well as the next 5 people on points. Thankfully, we had a person who actually won 2 events, so that made it so the top 6 people on points would make it. So prior to the event, I was sitting well and looked like I should make it, and if I had a good showing. Other good thing that was good is that we were supposed to have, I was thinking that we were going to get the full 30 people because I think 3 days before the event, so they sent out an email and there were 25 people already that had RSVP'd. So we were thinking we'd pick up a couple more. So day of the tournament comes last night and got some bad news. A few people who had signed up and said that they were going to be there ended up not showing up. Which sucks from our perspective, because the more people that were there, for those of us who are higher up, it allows us to score more points. Granted, it also would hurt us if we went out earlier, but I was telling myself I was going to play rather cautiously, so I was hoping it was going to help me. But so we ended up only having 21 people, or maybe 22. Regardless, it sucked when you thought we were going to have 27, 28. Also, for the sake of money, it's nice to have those extra people, builds the pot bigger. So, ended up, really was telling myself, play well. If you have a couple, major decisions, try to err on the side of caution, if you will. But the first 2 rounds just murdered me. Just crushed me. I was down to, you start with 1,500 chips, 15-minute rounds, and blind started off at 510. And by the end of the 2nd round, I was down to about 1,000 chips, maybe 900-ish. And I'll let you know how I got there. I had one hand where I had 3-4 of spades, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry, 5-6 of spades. 5-6 of spades. So the flop came up No, I'm sorry. I flopped open-ended. So I don't know why I was thinking that, and it was the 4th that ended up giving me the straight. So yeah, I had to have had. No, I did. I had 5-6. I'm sorry. The flop came up 7-8, blank. I believe it was 7-8, like jack or deuce or something. It didn't matter. And guy bet. I called. There were 2 other people in the pot. Ended up turn card came out another 7. Guy bet again. I called. River card came up, the 4 that I needed. So no flush got there. So I felt pretty confident about the hand. But for some reason I had this weird feeling that I was up against a boat. I don't know why I felt it. I just felt it. So the guy bet again. And this time I simply just called him. I was thinking, if I hit my card, I'll raise. But I ended up just calling him. And I actually had pot odds to call. In my mind, I also had the implied odds, which might have helped me a little bit. But there were 2 other people in the pot on the flop who also called. Then one person who called on the turn. And then I was the only one who called on the river. So my money odds were actually pretty correct. I might have reached a little bit, but I felt I had some implied odds. Excuse me. And then if I hit, it was going to pay well. But he had 8-7, so he boated on the turn. And, of course, if any card hits, other than the 4 or the 9, I'm getting the hell out of that pot and wouldn't have lost, on the end there. So that ended up hitting me decently. It was a decent pot. It hurt me. Had another pot where I had Jack 8, and the flop came up 8-4 tray. guy bet, I called, turn card came out, guy bet, I called, river card came out, guy bet, I called, just called him all the way down with top pair. And he ended up having king 8. So what could you do? Sad, it was just life. I don't really feel like I overplayed it simply because the bets were pretty small. I really feel like I lost the minimum on that. Sure, I could have gotten away from it, but I called the jack 8 out of the small blind. So I mean, I'm not going to full jack 8 pre-flop when the blinds are 10-20, and I'm not going to muck my top pair for a bet of 20 and then a bet of 40 and then whatever. So maybe I should have, but I didn't. Another hand, I had king 10 of spades, raised on the button, flopped the second nut flush, and could not get anybody to play with me. Checked it all the way down the river, and everybody folded. That was cool. So, I finally hit a good hand and nothing happened. And there was one other hand that I apologize, I can't remember what it was, but it ended up hurting me as well. Oh no, I was drawing for a flush. I was drawing for the nut flush. I had ace tray of spades again, actually, and flopped a 4 flush with 2 other people in the pot. So guy bet, I called. Now this one I will admit I did not have the correct pot odds because the guy was betting more, probably trying to get the flush out of it. But I really felt like my implied odds. The guy who it was a pretty tight player, so I figured if I hit my hand and he's betting this way, he probably has something already, so I can probably get paid off. Sadly, I ended up letting it go. I actually bet that I called that one all the way down to the river and it didn't hit. Had another one where I had a flush draw of diamonds this time with the king high, the queen high, and let that one go on the turn. I called a flop bet, but he bet pretty hard. He bet like, I think I was laying like 2-1 to call on the flop, maybe like 1.5. He bet a lot, but I felt like it was going to come, which I know you're never supposed to play with your feeling. You should play with your numbers. That's a smart way to do it. Sometimes I do both. I try to get a numbers perspective, but I also view things from a feeling standpoint as well. So the one pivotal hand, and this tournament allows you to have 1 rebuy within the first 5 rounds. So one pivotal hand that happened, I had ace jack, raised pre-flop, got called by 2 people. Flop came up, jack 10-4, I believe, maybe jack 10-8. It was a blank, whatever. So I made a bet, got raised by my buddy John, who's one of my boys. Went out to played in the World Series this past year, played the Arizona State Championship, played in my tournament, the Imperial Poker Tour. But he ends up raising and goes all in. Now at this point, I picked up a couple pots, whatever, but I was sitting at like 900. I really did not have much, and really was sometimes, and it's weird, but sometimes you feel like if you'll just lose and just say screw it and rebuy, you almost feel like it's going to change your tide, it's going to change your roll. Get rid of those chips. Those are bad chips. Give me new ones, It's a stupid thing that poker players, look at, and sometimes it's legitimate. So I ended up calling, and, didn't feel great about it, but was okay. So I figured, I've got top pair, top kicker. Maybe he hit a set. I was hoping he had again my king jack, honestly. I didn't feel I was behind when I made the call. But and now looking back on it, I could see where I could have been with some hands that would have called me pre-flop for a raise. So he flips over jack 10, so he's got top 2 pair. And I'm, pretty much drawn dead to rights. I'm needing an ace, so I've got a 3-outer essentially, or I needed to run a runner. And so the turn card hit a queen, and the river card hit the king. So I ended up catching a runner on him, and taking him down with the straight with Broadway. And I felt bad, honestly, because he's one of my dudes. He's one of the only people there that I'm actually friends with outside of the tournament. There's a few people that I actually talk to at work. That's one of my boys that I've traveled to Vegas with and whatever. So I did feel bad about that because he honestly ran into some really bad luck last night, and so I did feel pretty shitty. Then probably, I don't know, a few hands later, the luck came around and got me back. I had pocket 6s, raised to a small raise. I think I tripled the blinds. And at this point, I was sitting at just about 2,000 chips. So I'm pretty sure the blinds were, what were the blinds? They weren't 5,100. I think they were 30-60. I think we do 30-60. Maybe it was 20-40. No, it was 20-40. I'm sorry, it was 20-40. Or maybe it was 25-50. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Sorry. Sorry for the dead space there. But, so I pick up pocket sixes, raise it 3 times the blind, get 2 callers. Flop comes up, 9, 9 ace. Okay. So guy checks to me, other person checks to me. I make a pretty standard continuation bet with my sixes just to see where I'm at, honestly. If I get raised, I'm assuming somebody's got the ace and I'm letting it go, whatever. So get 1 caller, other person folds. So I'm a little scared by that. I honestly, either figure that they had a really solid ace, and are trying to slow play me, a 9 trying to slow play me, or I don't know, maybe just trying to set me up for a move on the turn. Again, this is the same person that got me with the straight. So I really didn't. I know he's a pretty solid player. Or got me when I got the straight. So turn card comes up, and it is my money card. I hit a 6. So I've got the full boat. 6s full and 9s. This is my money card. Dude checks to me. Okay, I think about it. And they're making a pretty good sized bet. Like, I'd say probably a 250 chip bet. Because I think on the flop, I bet like 105 or something. Turn card, I bet like 255. He ends up calling me. All right? So, I really don't care where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, that he doesn't have a 9-6 in his hand or an ace 9. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. So I'm thinking he's still, at this point I'm hoping that he just has an ace. So I'm in line, I got to dodge a couple cards here and I'm pretty good. And sure enough, one of the cards I needed to dodge, I don't. And the river brings another 9. So now there's 3 9s on board. So if he has an ace, I'm crushed. And sure enough, he checks to me, and it's just so sneaky. Because I'm thinking, if he has the ace, wouldn't you want to bet there and try to get a little bit of value? Or do you just know that I'm going to bet, and then you can come over the top? Maybe he thought I had the ace as well, so why risk the chips, if we're just going to, or why put the chips in there if we're just going to chop on some off chance I have the 9? I don't know. I didn't really get a chance to talk to him about the hand, so I'm not sure. But I checked afterwards. I wasn't even thinking about that. And sure enough, he had ace tray, I think, which I don't even know should he have been in the pot in the first place, but that's another question for another time. And so he ended up hitting the boat 9s full of aces as opposed to mine 9s full of 6s. So that's just a brutal hand. Like whenever you lose, boat to boat, especially when like I hit a 2-outer to give me the lead, then he comes back and hits. Well, I mean, essentially it was a 6-outer because, 4-outer because he had the other 3 aces and the 1-9 to take it. So I hit my 2-outer. He hits his 4-outer, which is pretty brutal. So pretty soon after that, actually, I think the very next hand, we ended up combining tables and lost the first table. So we got down to 2 tables. And as soon as I sat down at this table, oh my God, it was just bad. It was one of those type of days where you read about, to be quite honest. It was pretty much as bad as my first time ever playing in the World Series. And I don't think I've ever told the story. I mean, people who know me outside of the website know this story. But my very first World Series of poker, my second World Series of poker. My very first World Series, I ended up getting knocked out in an hour after losing a huge pot the first hand to Renee Angelillo, Celine Dion's husband. That's another story for another day. But the second event that I played in was the next year. I played in a 1500 again, and I got the absolute worst run of cards I've ever had. I made it 4 hours and played 4 hands in 4 hours. It was that bad. I mean, to the point that like the best hand I had all day was I think like an ace 9, but I got it, after there was a raise, a re-raise, a call, just hands that I could have played, but I mean, there were probably only 5 hands I could even play, but the situation just wasn't good for him. So it was horrible. It was truly one of the absolute worst sessions of poker you could ever have, and this was close to that. I mean, 8 deuce, 7-4, 5-9, 10 deuce, 10 tray, 7-5, 7-4, 5-2. Like, it was just horrible. And, you know, I would finally pick up a hand like a 6-5 suited that I'd be fine to play, but not with like a raise and a re-raise in whatever, you know, or I'd have a hand that I might like an ace tray. I'm not going to play that from under the gun with how short my chip stack was, you know. So it was horrible. Then I finally picked up a couple hands. One hand I picked up ace queen, and this lady, two to my right, she was a pretty, she says she's a beginner, but she's a pretty standard player where she plays, you know, pretty solidly when it comes to big hands. If she bets, you know, she's probably got something. So I am terrified of her for that reason. And up to this point, I've never seen her bluff. She's never proven me wrong. Every time I've ever seen her make a big bet, it's with aces, with kings, with ace king, with ace queen, whatever. So I picked up ace queen. Ended up, she made a pretty big size raise. A person had already bet. She made a big size raise. So it was kind of a moment where I felt about pushing because my chip stack was pretty low. But I ended up saying no. Like Dan Harrington always says, you want to be the first one in when you push. So I ended up not pushing and mucked. And sure enough, another person pushed. They both had ace king. Turns out I would have actually won with my queen because my queen would have hit a flush at the end, but whatever. Another hand, I picked up ace jack suited. She made a good raise. Another one of those hands where I really felt that this might be my shot to push. Thankfully I didn't. Turns out she had pocket queens. And thankfully she tells most of the time what she has. So you really can feel pretty confident about, you know, your decision afterwards. She's not a very sneaky player like that. Another hand I picked up pocket nines. Ended up, another person went all in. A person went all in, purser called. This same lady was the one who called. I had pocket nines, ended up mucking my nines. She called with like queen jack, like a hand that was pretty suspect there. But it was only for like 12, 1300. I ended up mucking. The person that pushed all in the first place had the other two nines. Really weird. I would have ended up taking the hand, 4 diamonds hit, and I would have pulled it down. That would have just been horrible. So I ended up, you know, kind of glad that I didn't from a person standpoint, which I had from a poker player standpoint. So it just was, then I finally pick up pocket aces. In the big blind, it's folded all the way around to me. The lady, at this point, somebody got knocked out. 2 people got knocked out. So she was in my small blind. She ends up calling. I got to put some type of a raise in there, you know. Just a small, like, I don't even think I tripled it. I think I doubled it. She folds. She had 8 deuce. So it was just running really, really badly. We end up getting over to, before that, I ended up pushing all in with king 6, I think. Just finally decided, you know what, this is time. I'd been looking at so many hands of 9-5 and 8 deuce and 7 tray. I said, screw it, pushed it with my king. Ended up got called by, I think, like Jack 8 and hit my king. Actually, I'm sorry, I had King 10 because I hit my 10. And then on the river, I hit my king as well. So that doubled me up, got me for the first time in the entire tournament. Mind you, we were to the final table now. This was essentially at the final table. And I had not gotten above 2,000 chips the entire tournament. When you start at 1,500, that's pretty crazy, pretty impressive that I was able to do that. I pat myself on the back for that one. But just crazy that, I would be that down to start and build it back up. So get down to the final table, and apparently my luck followed me because I am just bad. Just getting blinded out. Blinds at this point are 100, 200. Blinded out. Finally push with ace something. I pushed with that, took down the blinds. Another 2 people got eliminated, so now the blinds are up to 300, 600. I'm sorry, no, 200, 400 at this point. Blinds are 2-4. I had 1,800 in chips. Pushed all in. No, I'm sorry. Just called on the flop or I'm sorry, called pre-flop with pocket trays. Put in a bet, was able to take it down. The flop, scary, flopped an ace. Was able to take it down. Had another time where I pushed all in with literally like tray deuce, but it came all the way around to me on the button, and I just had a feeling that everybody was weak, so I ended up mucking, and the one person showed like an ace deuce. I was like, I can't call you, and the other one showed a king nine. I was like, I can't call you. I'm like, thank you. So I picked that up. It actually built my stack up a little bit. It was just under 3,000, but with the blinds where they were at 2-4, it was a little. I still wasn't sitting great, I mean, my M was essentially what, like 4. That's not great, or yeah. I probably had about an M of close to 8 because I probably ran about 3,000 chips. So I'm still not solid by any means. Ended up on the small blind. On the button. I ended up raising with king 6, and I lost a couple pots at this point. I'm sorry, king 5. Lost a couple pots at this point, so I was down to probably about like 2,100, and I was trying to kind of just steal. I made a weird play, and I don't know how I feel about this play, but I made kind of a weird play where I only doubled the blind, and I made it like 8. I made it 855. It was 2-4 at this point. I made it 855, and I only had behind probably another. I was right at about. I had about like 950 or 1,000 behind, so I was right. Started to hand about 1,900, and the guy to the next to me was specifically asking, like, well, how much do you have behind? He's kind of confused by the bet, and I was just trying to make the bet of, this is a good enough hand. I don't want to push all in. I'm trying to get value, so go away. That's what it worked in my mind. I don't think it came across that way, but that's how it worked in my mind. Ended up getting called by the guy next to me and by the big blind. I was on the button, like I said. Flopped the king. Ended up small blind pushed automatically. And at this point, I hit top pair. What else am I playing for? My kicker sucked, but I hit top pair. And if you're going to muck top pair after you put half your stack in, you shouldn't be playing poker. So I ended up calling. He had king queen, and that was all she wrote. So I ended up getting knocked out in 8th place at the final table. But that's pretty solid for me. I ended up pulling 3 final tables out of the 4 events I played. So not bad. 2 of them were, the 2 second places. The other one was an 8th. So really, 3 top 8 finishes out of 4 events is not bad. Granted, only 2 of them paid. But whatever, still feels good. So I don't know as of yet if I made the championship table. I'm hoping I did. I think I did, because I know that 2 of the people who were left in, both were named Jason actually, they both had already been ahead of me. So that really wouldn't have hurt me. And there was one other guy there who was kind of right on the bubble. So that's the only one I'm kind of worried about. But honestly, I think I made it. Hopefully. But I'm hoping they send out an email within the next day or 2 and let me know, because I don't remember everybody's name at the table in order to go check the scorecard and figure it out myself. So overall, I'm happy with my game. I got horribly unlucky the first few rounds to just set me down as far as I did, as far as it did. Plus, there were a few hands I didn't play very well. So it is what it is. Really, I was off my game after that first run, which is getting some bad luck, and wasn't really able, because I haven't been playing enough lately, wasn't really able to hold my game tight, because I did get kind of off of it. So hopefully I can start playing more if I do make the championship and get my game a little bit better and a little bit more tight. So when the time comes, I'll be able to go ahead and hopefully make some better poker moves, if you will. But overall, I can't hate too much. Like I said, 3 top 8s out of 4 tournaments. Most people will be happy with that. So we'll see what happens. I will definitely do a video and let you guys know if I made the championship table or not. And of course, do one after the championship table, as always. Do a little recap video for that. So, but once again, thanks for checking out my videos. Hopefully you guys like my poker recap. Hopefully you like how in-depth I can get. I know I've had some positive feedback by how I recreate the hands. I apologize. There were more than usual to recreate this time, so I was a little sketchy on a couple of them, so I apologize for that. But, let me know what you guys think. What do you think about that last play? I mean, where I just raised with half my stack. Do you think that it's a play that I should only use on, or do you think it's even a play I should use? One thing I wonder is that the people I was playing with some of them aren't the most experienced players, so there's some type of, that might not see what I was trying to do, and therefore just think, okay, what's this guy doing? I don't know, I'm going to call anyway. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it was a dumb play? Do you think I should have just mucked the hand in general, or do you think I should have bet it harder? Probably couldn't have gotten him to fold king-queen anyway, because he had a decent-sized chip stack, at least better than mine, and I, at this point was probably second to last at the table. So let me know what you guys think. But once again, Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com, just doing a quick poker recap video for event number 5 of the Arizona Poker Tour, and I ended up getting 8th place. So not horrible, not great. But once again, Matthew Maley, thank you for checking out all of my videos. Much appreciated. MatthewMaley.com is back up and running, so tell your friends about it. Come and check out the site. As always, appreciate all the support. Hit me up on the discussion tab on MatthewMaley.com. Drop me a note. If you've got an idea for a video, throw it on there. If you just want to say what's up, throw it on there. That's what I'm here for. So I love seeing people's, reactions, responses, and all that. So definitely hit me up on there. So we'll check out some more videos. The website's back up. I don't have all the videos loaded yet. I still got to get through loading all of them through the summer, but they'll be on there soon. So once I get them up there, I'll send something out on Facebook and Twitter, and then you can go through and check out all the videos and see exactly what I was getting into this summer. So if you're up on Facebook, like my page, search Matthew Maley Poker. I really appreciate it. Like the page. Leave me a comment on there. You can follow me on Twitter, @Matthew Maley. I tweet the most on Sundays during football and everything with that, so follow me up on there. And got a few new followers, so shout out to you guys. Much appreciated. Got a few today. Today's Sunday. So was tweeting throughout the whole Cardinals game, and was able to get some new subscribers. So I'll also be doing another recap video for the NFL tomorrow after the Monday night game. So hopefully the Steelers lose. Anyway, and of course, as always, up on YouTube, you can search me on there. And if you're up there on there right now, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, so you'll be the first to know when all the new videos pop up. As always, if you wouldn't mind dropping me a comment on there, like the video and watch it a few times. That'd be really cool. Every time I watch it, or every time you guys watch it, it boosts it up a little bit more, and hopefully they'll start getting seen by lots of people, and we'll be one of the top people up on there. That'd be awesome. But anyway, thanks again for all my fans and all my followers. Much appreciated, and hope you guys liked the video. So until tomorrow, your boy is signing off, and about to come to close for the weekend and chill out. So enjoy the last couple hours of it. So peace out, everybody.